Hello, Mike the Cop here. Trying to get set up on my on my phone. Uh, yeah, I don't have a tripod for my phone right now. I don't know where it's at, so this is what you're gonna get. So apologize, down and dirty here. Wait for some folks to come in. Been a little bit since I went live on YouTube. I can't even remember the last time. It's been at least a month, I would guess. So I don't. Oh, there's some comments coming through. Okay. All right. Uh, hey, Jonas, how are you? Hope everybody's doing good. I appreciate those of you who continue to follow my content wherever you follow it, whether it's YouTube or elsewhere. I do sincerely appreciate it. Uh, I just got home from dropping off some Black Rifle coffee to some guys at a local PD, downriver Detroit area, Wyandotte. Gave them some canned coffee. If you've never tried the Black Rifle coffee, if you want to try it for 20% off, you can use code Mike the Cop and you can get Black Rifle coffee for 20% cheaper than you otherwise could. So, all right, I wanted to hit. I put this post on Facebook, and I can't recall a post that has been shared this much in a while. So I figured, hey, I should jump onto YouTube and talk about this. It seems to be a hot topic. I actually think Officer Tatum is talking about it live right now as well. I actually texted him to see, like, hey, what do you think about what I said and that kind of a thing. Compare notes. We haven't connected yet, though. So everybody has been asking me all day. I went live on Instagram earlier today, and and people were just asking constantly, what about Kenosha? What about Jacob Blake? What's going on? What do you think about this? And I was very, very minimally familiar, so I did a little bit of digging. I always try to get as close to the source as possible, as close to the facts as possible before I make statements, and I try to be careful with it. And I'll say this up front as I break this down, and I don't plan on being here that long. Is I'm going to share this with you, and if I need to clarify something after the fact, or if I am wrong about a fact, I'm always going to post back up in here what my mistake was, and I would even make another video clarifying myself and admitting and clarifying any mistakes that I have. So here's what from talking to people as close to the situation as I possibly can, and from looking at the videos, both videos. There is more. There is a video from another angle now because a lot of people are like, "Well, he was never tased in that video." Well, if you look at the other video, he was. So here's my things. First of all, the police were called to some type of disturbance. There is conflict as to where all Jacob Blake had caused or been a part of a disturbance, but what we know, there was a domestic situation involved. Some people say he was breaking up a fight, whatever. I don't know. They were called, and Jacob Blake's name at some point was known to the officers. So they were called to this disturbance where a man was supposedly wielding or displaying a knife to people. And on the way to the call, dispatch advised that Mr. Blake had a warrant for a recent sexual abuse and domestic situation. So they confirmed that if this is Mr. Blake, he has a warrant for his arrest in conjunction with this other crime. Okay. And you can confirm that Mr. Blake was known to police officers. Thank you, Andrew. I appreciate that. Mr. Blake was known to local police officers from multiple contacts. Mr. Blake had also been known in that vehicle to carry a firearm. And they were informed on the way that he had a warrant for his arrest. So first of all, just know this: the mainstream media has an agenda, and it does not involve waiting and weighing all pertinent information to use of force or the circumstance. What their agenda is to drive as much revenue as possible by rocketing out whatever narrative seems to do that the best in front of people who tend to be uninformed about police matters, about use of force, and about the situation itself. So, hey, Elvis, no, but you're going to have to pay attention. No one's saying that it culminates to a death sentence. His actions lead to this, Elvis. Think about that for a second before you spout off too much. So that's the first thing. Don't fall prey just to immediate agenda. Think about it. Think about it. All right. Number two is that this was the situation that they were called into and that they find out about. When they arrive, they attempt to take him into custody. He resists. He attempted, he was tased, and either the taser missed or just didn't take an effect. Unfortunately, tasers are not a perfect tool. As great of a tool as they are, they don't always work. So that's what happens. They tried to tase him, or they did tase him. It didn't have an effect. He gets up. In one still image that I put up as the thumbnail, it appears as though he has a karambit-shaped style knife in his hands. You hear the officers repeatedly saying, "Drop the knife, drop the knife." So they've already tried to take him into custody with no weapons. Then they try to tase him, and that doesn't work. Then we have guns drawn, and he is going to the car. You don't let an armed person get into a vehicle with other people. You don't let an armed person who, my understanding is that he said that there was a gun in the car, that he had told officers there was a gun in the car and he was going to get it. Either way, whether he said it or whether he was known to officers in that area to carry a gun in that vehicle or to have had carry a gun in the vehicle, you can't let him go to the car. You can't trust that there's no weapon in there, and especially if he said it. So he goes over there. Now, this is the part where people want to paint Jacob Blake as this guy who is just roaming the countryside like Caine from Kung Fu, dispensing peace and wisdom to his neighbors. Give me a break. That's not what's happened here. Thank you, Hiram. I appreciate that. Let me look at your comment real quick. But you're right, both sides cherry pick events. Yes, I agree. So that's not what was happening. I was talking about it with some friends tonight, and if you were completely innocent and you were just breaking up a fight and you had nothing to do with any of this and you didn't have a knife or anything, wouldn't you just be like, "Oh, hey, I'm just breaking up a fight," and you just cooperate and communicate with the officers? No, that's not what is happening here. That's not what is happening at all. So come to that point, they fired shots because he either said or was known to carry a weapon in that vehicle, and he went to that vehicle after. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. After already having a weapon and already fighting the police, already resisting, it escalated to that point because of the actions and decisions of Jacob Blake. That's what this looks like on the surface. Man, I can't say your name, but thank you. I appreciate that. Anyway, so I'll continue to weather the storm because people. Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. Comments are flying fast. I can't keep up with all of them. I'll try at the end. It's just crazy how people will take a snippet of a situation and then just rocket it out there, just like the media, and they eat it up. This is why the media does it, because everybody just eats it up without being knowledgeable of the situation. Anonymous, thank you. Yeah, this will stay up as a video, yes. So that's my quick take. Could I be, Mike, you are so based. Do you mean biased? I don't know what I said that was biased. I'm just explaining the situation. And any piece that I have been wrong about, Caleb says, was 7 shots too many. There are no too little shots. That's not how shootings work. A shooting, when justified, is meant to stop a threat. It is not meant to kill. Jacob Blake is still alive. Okay? So it's not meant to kill, it's meant to stop a threat. Hey, Rel, he says, can we stop being political? I'm sorry, I'm just in my basement here. I can't moderate all these comments. I don't have a moderator with me tonight. Normally I would use the underpaid producer, but he's not around here right now. So it's not about the number of shots. It's about stopping the threat. So I'm not concerned about the number of shots. So that's not. All right. Yeah, it wasn't my camera angle I was checking. I was trying to look at comments. What about the argument, Sicarly, that they should have blocked the door on the car? Sure, that could be a hindsight thing. It could be a training point of, oh, if I were there, we should have done this. But the way that the fight was taking place, they were all in that spot when he got up. How do you don't crossfire? You couldn't if there was kids in the car, you wouldn't pass behind the car with a gun necessarily in that situation. There's a lot of things that you have to get into the mindset of the people who were present and what they were thinking. And use of force is always going to be judged based on the law and what a reasonable person would do in that same situation. And the question is in their mindset with their process in that moment is what they did reasonable. Everything on the surface of this, based on the pieces that I see of facts, do not point to some guy just randomly being the guy that was breaking up a fight and the cops just showed up and mistook him for somebody else and then just shot the guy. It doesn't work that way. All right. Should Goodyear supply police departments with free tires as punishment? Yeah, sure. I don't know. That'd be nice, I guess. I'm just clicking through the super chats real quick. Echo says we appreciate everything you do. Thank you for your service and your feedback. Thank you, Echo. Mark Hobby, Mike, it's all political. Yeah, it does get political. Ain't that the truth? And here in Bifidum, I hate to admit this. The both sides. In a lot of situations, everybody involved shares some level of responsibility. Yeah, it's not like it, even if this is justified, maybe there's some aspect from a training perspective that we can learn from, but it doesn't make it unjustified, even practically. And people need to start putting the responsibility on Jacob Blake because he's the one that had a warrant for his arrest for a sexual abuse domestic situation. He's the one that it all seems to be clear that he had a knife. He's the one that was carrying a knife around. He's the one that got the cops called on him. He's the one that fought the police. He's the one that, despite even being tased, continued to fight and got up and went to a car and took a weapon and went another spot where a weapon could be. There's a lot of factors here. So put some responsibility at least on him, at least on him, even if we can find things down the road that don't line up for the cops. But that's my quick take. Wanted to put it out there before I forgot about it, before everybody else forgot about it. And I appreciate all you guys with the super chats. No, I truly am humbled when that happens. So thank you very much. And yes, this is staying up as a video. Thank you, Jay Lee. I appreciate the support. This will stay up as a video, as a record of my quick take on this, and I will follow up as more facts come out, more information as necessary. If I feel it's relevant to do a follow-up, you can always come back and look in the comments, or I will make a video if I need to correct a mistake about something I said. All right. Thanks, guys. Be safe out there.